You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that. Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Man Hour. Michael Buckhouse here. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page. We got new merch dropping tomorrow. So tomorrow we got new merch dropping. Get yourself prepared for 4th of July. That's all. I'm going to leave it right there. It's 4th of July, Man Hour logo tee. So we'll just leave it there so you guys can figure it out. Or you can simply go to manhourradio.com and click on the merchandise page. It'll be right there. But tonight's episode, guys, is brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. You guys know that I've been going through quite the battle with my roof since February here. And Brooks Roofing, guys, hands down, was the best roofing guy that I've ever worked with. Like, once we hired him, it was about 3 weeks later, the insurance finally paid for our roof. He got it done in a matter of like a day. Hauled off, cleaned up. He does great work. So Bradley Brooks over there at Brooks Roofing, they are the protection you need when nature strikes. Head over to brooksroofingin.com and you can give them a big shout out. So let's welcome Man Hour _ Tori of the show, the Tori Anderson. Tori, what's going on today, bud?
Not a dang thing. Just another day living the dream, one day closer to retirement.
Are you really that close to retirement?
I'll be in single digits next year.
Single digits, but you're gonna still work till you're 80, right?
No. The day I turn 55, I'm hanging it up. I am done.
You know, my mom said the same thing. She retired at the age of 54. She was retired for roughly 3 or 4 months, and she got a full-time job. After 3 or 4 months of being retired, because she was quote bored. So.
I don't get that. As my father said before he passed, he was retired. I don't care. Every day is Saturday now.
Yeah, but sometimes Saturday gets old. Like, you can always say "get off my lawn" so many times before it gets old, right?
Well, just like I do. I refuse to have a lawn.
Oh, there you go. That's a great point. Get off my sidewalk, you mangy kids.
Pick up your dog poop. I see you over there.
Speaking of dog poop, what's up, Wyatt? Welcome to the show, man.
Oh, I'm great. Just wait until retirement, man. You know, I've only got let's see here, 50 years?
Minimum of 40 years, Wyatt. Minimum of 40 years.
No, you know what I am waiting for? My high school retirement. 13 days. You know what? Guess what? I walked into English today, okay? And we all sat down, and my English teacher looks at us and goes, "I'm sorry, guys. We don't have anything to do for the rest of the school year." I have 12 days of school left. I'm not out till the 27th. And you're telling me we're going to sit in this class and stare at each other for the rest of the year? That's what we're doing?
Wait,
and that's what every class is.
Is your English teacher a girl or a guy?
It's weird. It was a girl, but she got a new job, so they they brought on this older teacher who was retired. It's funny, speaking of retirement, he came out of retirement to teach for the end of the year, and then he's going to go back into retirement. But he's our teacher now, but like, I guess we already breezed through everything we're going to do, and like all of our grades for seniors have to be in by the 21st, and we still go till the 27th. So you're telling me that literally I will be in school for 7 days with 0 assignments, 0 things to do, and I'm going to stare at the wall for 7 days.
Wyatt, when you get into the real world, and if you get a job that happens, you're going to be like, "This is the greatest job ever." So enjoy it while you have it.
Yeah.
Tori, it's absolutely false. Like, every time it is slow at work for like me, like, I want to hang myself. I'm like, this is so boring. Like sometimes I go and try to break stuff just so I saw something to like do.
Well, I'm not me. If I got nothing to do, I'm chilling. Oh, but
is that why you called me the other day and said, "Hey, which wire should I cut, red or green?"
It was actually the blue one, and I definitely did cut the blue one. It was the wrong one, so I just
Oh,
wanna
so
point
the
that
whole
out there.
factory blew up.
No, we lost phone lines for 6 hours, so it was pretty fun.
Okay.
No, so actually, one of our maintenance guys hit a telephone pole coming back after lunch. He had too many mango margaritas on the way back from lunch, and he hit the pole, and our internet was out for a solid 6 hours. So that was pretty.
Oh
pretty
my
exciting.
gosh.
So don't.
See, I don't
so
gotta worry.
don't get,
I don't gotta worry about that. My commute's pretty easy.
yeah.
Like there's my bed, and this is my office during the day. So
Did you ever get in traffic jams like lost?
I'm once in a while. There's this
Lou gets
there's
his
this little-
way.
there's this little compact 17-pound dog that gets in the way sometimes.
right. So, Tori, let me ask you this question, because you have been a man in the office for, most of your career. In the last year, you've been working from home. Do you rather work from home, or do you rather go into the office? Are you
Oh God, no! Let me work from
social
home.
bee? Are you? You're
No.
you're
Let me work from home. I mean, one, I don't have to put pants on half the time,
Yeah.
so that's just a bonus right there. So no leg prisons. But like I get a lot done. I am one of those, like I am on task when I'm at home,
yeah.
where it's like I'm 1,000 times more efficient.
See, I'm
So,
not.
but like I'll stop and like I'll make bacon and eggs for breakfast and like do that and go right back to work and
Enjoy your life, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. For me, I'm 1,000 times more productive. I've always been like that though. When I've been able to work from home, I think it's the paranoia of if somebody's watching me, that you make yourself indispensable, or you make yourself expendable.
Right.
Where if they see that you're always kind of doing something, and I volunteer for everything under the sun as well too. So
Right. So
the last thing anybody at work will call me is lazy.
Yeah, why is the complete opposite on that? And Joseph, my cup is actually not invisible; it's just black, and I got a black screen back there, so it's just it blends in. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into some sports talk here, as we got Joseph saying yo-yo. Apparently, he has a 1996 yo-yo over there that he is playing with, since the yo-yo is coming out of his mouth. Why do you know what a yo-yo is? Like, do this have those?
We had yo-yos as kids. Yeah,
Man,
Buck, you got to realize you're not that much older than me.
I am double your age. I'm just going to put that out there.
Buck, what year did you graduate high school?
2005.
Okay, so
you were still a sperm cell in your daddy's balls.
I was not a sperm cell in my daddy's balls. I was alive and well.
He was 2 years. He was 2 years old.
I was 3. I was 3. So you got 15 years on me.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Wyatt, I've been working for the government longer than you've been alive.
That is probably true. That is probably true.
I started with the government in 1998.
So you started with the government the year my parents got married. So, and then
Yeah.
4 years later, little old Wyatt turned out. So
Yeah, and I've been working IT as long as you've been alive too. So I'm just going to point that out there.
you've been working IT since 2002?
Yep. Started in high school, actually.
I don't know, Buck. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that was my first summer job, was pulling cable through the walls.
I will give it to you, Buck. You are a whole lot smarter than what you come off as.
What is that supposed to mean?
Just kidding.
No. You cannot open up that can of worms. Like, do I come off stupid? Do I come off ignorant?
No,
Come on, no,
just kidding.
No,
I'm pretty sure
I don't
Mike
know.
called me dumb.
yeah, you
No,
did.
I mean it's not. You don't come off stupid, but you don't come off as this IT wizard hacker that you are. Like you just don't come off that way.
Well,
As an
I'm not a
hold
hacker,
on,
by the way.
hold on. Let me rephrase it. As a athlete who played Division I football, you don't come off as a computer nerd. How about that? Is that
you
better?
mean he doesn't come off like a dumb jock?
Yeah, you don't come off as a dumb. Yeah.
So I
you-
do come off as a
No,
dumb
you
jock.
don't come off as dumb jock. The dumb jock thing does not exist because every athlete in America that I know is actually top of their class. Trey Kaufman
Have
is number
you-
one in the class
okay,
at
have you
Silver
heard
Creek.
Lamar
Winker's
Jackson
right.
talk?
Do what?
Have you heard Lamar Jackson talk? I just
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? He's gonna have a Super Bowl ring one day, and we're all gonna be sitting here like, oh,
me ask
that
you-
Lamar Jackson guy's pretty cool.
So Buck says I'm in the mainframe. Yeah, I mean, I was in the mainframe all day today, actually, if you want to get technical about that. Oh, fun fact. Why do computers listen?
So like it takes like they listen to you, right? And it also takes your cookies to where like it can produce other ads for you, right? And like other websites.
It listens to its motherboard.
That was terrible geek speak.
There we
That was
go.
awful. That was even bad for a dad joke.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So Wyatt says, or Drew says, Wyatt, be careful for the revenge of the nerd.
That's
Yeah.
an amazing movie.
Yeah, well, the nerd's right here, Wyatt. You don't understand, but I do have a master's degree, so I am pretty buff.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So,
like as
I
a
can come at
Division
you,
One
man.
football player, you just don't come off as a IT wizard, as a computer nerd. It just doesn't. You don't come off that way. But then, like as I get to know you, and as people get to know you, they find out, hey, this guy is like super tech savvy and super tech smart.
Yeah. I mean,
I did not mean common sense dumb. I meant like you just don't come off as an IT guy. You know what I mean?
All right.
So why, since you're burying yourself here, how do I come off as?
You come off as a Division One football player that coaches now.
So are you saying like I come off as like a janitor? Like should I be like cleaning
No, you
cleaning
don't
like
come off as a
cleaning the
janitor.
toilets or something?
No, you don't. You come off as a guy who helps out on Friday nights when it's football time. I mean,
Well, Colt Brennan did that. How'd that work out?
oh, that's a terrible joke. Isn't that the
Then why are
Hawaii
you
quarterback?
laughing? Yeah, the guy died today.
What'd you make a joke about it for? It's not funny.
Why'd you laugh at it?
I don't know who Colt
That's
Brennan
not
is.
nice. Colt Brennan was when June Jones
Yeah.
was there. Colt Brennan was kind of like the start of like the
Was he a
some
Texas?
run and gun
He was
No.
Hawaii.
quarterback.
Hawaii.
He
Oh,
was the
Hawaii,
last
that's right,
actually
Hawaii,
good
okay.
player from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
didn't
Timmy
he set the
Timmy
passing
Chang
record
followed
in-
him. Yeah.
What did he set the passing record in all in NCAA?
Like
boys?
58
Yeah.
58
Yeah.
touchdowns. He needed
Yeah.
one to break the record in whatever bowl game. He threw 5.
Wow. Joe even says Tori unfunny. So, Tori.
He doesn't even know who Colt Brennan is.
I mean, now that you said Hawaii, like I know who he is. Like, he definitely. Nana says hashtag
Like,
Nana is old.
I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't get to watch him, of course, but like I know of him.
Wasn't
from
like
watching
was
old
kinda-
tapes and
2002
stuff.
when he was in there, 2001, 2002 time frame.
Yeah, 2002, because I think he was there till 2005.
Yeah.
And he finished in the top 3 in Heisman voting like the whole time he was there.
Yeah, he was a Heisman finalist, what, 3 times?
3 times.
Yeah,
Finished.
that's
I think he
crazy.
finished third. Finished third the second 2 times, but I guess he was in a rehab facility, so I don't know what the
Yeah.
thing was, but they found him in his room unresponsive.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
that's terrible.
We will talk about Tim Tebow after the break. So let's go ahead and take our first break, guys. So we are going to, mix things up here a little bit. Normally we jump in right into the heart and soul of the show, but we're going to start the show off, guys, with Guess Who. So after the break, we're going to Guess Who. We are going to talk a little bit of Tim Tebow, and then we're going to break down the AFC North draft grades, possibly the best draft out of all the divisions. So Wyatt,
I think so.
stay tuned, stay lax, go get some hydration, because right now, Wyatt, you are, you're losing in Guess Who.
I know.
gonna
I know.
look it up.
I got to get my act together today, or else it's going to be bad. But
You're going to be
we're
wearing a
going to
Bears
bounce
jersey.
back today. I got this. I feel very confident that you're going to pick, say, Anthony Davis.
I'm pretty sure I'm not.
So I've
Fun-
already narrowed one player down.
Question though, was Alan Hess ever your coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably not going to bounce that because he doesn't make adjustments. We'll be right back.
sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Tori Anderson and the Wyatt Williams tonight. We are going to get into some AFC North draft grade breakdowns kind of here. But first, we got to test the waters a little bit. We got to mix things up. We got to find that magic groove. So we are going to start with the new infamous game of Guess Who. Those that are new here, Guess Who is a simple yes or no game. So Wyatt and Tori both asked me yes or no questions to basically they want to find out the athlete that I'm thinking of. I already have it written down, so there's no changing it mid-thought process like some people like to do. I noticed that Combs did that on Friday night or Sunday night, but it is what it is. You guys think I'm lying? Look at his face. Go rewatch the show. He did it. No, I'm totally kidding. But we are going to get into some Guess Who before we get into some AFC South talk. But if you guys are going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and iTunes, or you can watch the clips the next day as well. YouTube.com/manhour. You can watch the clips throughout the day as well. So, who wants to go first tonight on the whole Guess Who, guys?
Ladies first, so Tori, you go.
All right, so Wyatt, you got the first question.
I was gonna say, I swept that all the way to you, Wyatt.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And guys, feel free to play in the chat here. Drew would have won last night, and I want to keep an eye out on things, and maybe we might get you guys some Man Hour merch. We do have some new merch dropping tomorrow, so manhourradio.com and check out the merch. We got some American flag merch stuff happening. So Wyatt, you get to go first, big guy.
All right, let's do it. Does this person play football?
Yes.
Do they play in the AFC?
Yes.
Do they play in the AFC North?
Ooh, yes.
Is it Ben Roethlisberger?
It is Big Ben. Tori.
Bam!
Man. Wham, bam, thank you, man. Tori Anderson.
What was that?
What do you mean, what is that? That is a great guess because Tori looked at the show rundown before the show, so he knows we were talking about the AFC North. So process of elimination, one of the best quarterbacks.
I was the one who asked who was AFC North because it was an AFC North day.
Yeah,
I asked because of that.
AFC North would have been my next question too, though. Because what draft are we breaking down tonight, Wyatt?
Exactly.
That's why I asked. Y'all are explaining this to me like I'm stupid or something. That is the reason why I asked that question.
Who did Buck say was surprised that they didn't draft a quarterback to replace him?
Oh my. Okay. Let's just get to the next one.
So Tori is now 7-3.
Let's hope Tori doesn't just guess it on the second question again.
All right. So go ahead, Tori. You get to go first this time around.
Are they a baseball player?
No.
Are they a basketball player?
No.
Oh.
Do they play in the NFC?
No.
Do they play in the AFC North?
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Is it Lamar Jackson?
I swear to
It
God,
is not Lamar Jackson. I will. So disclaimer: I will never put Lamar Jackson on this because Lamar Jackson is complete trash.
So I feel like I should go with Baker Mayfield here, or Joe Burrow maybe, but I don't know. I'm gonna put the pressure on Tori. That hasn't worked very well throughout this. So is it a quarterback?
It is a quarterback.
All right, pressure's on Tori. It's a 1 or 2 answer here.
Is it?
Well, no, we got 3. Oh, that's no. We only got 2.
It's 1 or 2.
But he went with the backup quarterback last time.
Well, that's true. I don't think he'd do that again. Especially, but yeah, the last time he went with the backup quarterback, we were between these two teams as well. Isn't that funny? Because you asked if it was a team in Ohio.
Yep.
It's either Baker or Joe. So take your spin here. You spin on Russian roulette here.
No. Is it Case Keenum?
It is not. I do like Case Keenum.
Oh, dude. So now you're gonna make me do this? Oh God. Okay. It's either Baker or it's Joe. Huh. Who was the quarterback from last night that we did the backup? Who was it?
I mean, you should have that memorized.
I don't remember who it was.
It
was
is not Finley. I can tell you that.
It was not Ryan Finley.
Okay, then it's Baker Mayfield.
No.
Then is it Joe Burrow?
It is not Joe Burrow.
Is it Ryan Finley?
It is not Ryan Finley.
Is it Dwayne Haskins?
Dwayne Haskins, no.
Is it? Oh God.
People were saying Burrow in the chat as well. Drew said Burrow. Joey said Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got. That's what I was thinking. If it's not, then I mean,
We named all the starting quarterbacks.
Kyle Lauletta.
Kyle Letta. No.
Is it Trace McSorley?
It is Trace McSorley. Come on, why wasn't he a no, he was a Penn State guy, that's right.
He was at Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State.
Dang, Wyatt, you already got beat tonight.
I hate my life so
Man.
much, so much. I mean, this is rough.
So Drew Winston plays in the NFC South, not the AFC North. So all right. So Wyatt, I guess you can go first again. I guess we'll see.
Is it a
what
basketball
happens.
player?
No.
It's good. It's a good thing that Wyatt's not frustrated. Is it a baseball player?
No. That would
Okay.
be funny though if we won a baseball player.
Do they play for the Browns? Nope.
No, sorry, I was drinking. Alex, you're kicking my butt right now.
Do they play? Is it Nick Chubb?
Do they play with Nick Chubb?
No, I said is it
Oh.
Nick Chubb?
Oh no.
He said no to the Browns. Is it Ravens?
No.
So it's either
Do they
Steelers
play
or
with the
Bengals.
Steelers?
No.
Okay, so they're a Bengal. Do they play on offense?
Yes.
Do they play on the Cincinnati Bengals?
Yes.
Oh yes. Okay. Is it Joe Mixon?
No. But he is a top 10 running back in the NFL.
No, he's not.
It is.
1 week a year, yes. 1 week a year when he pops off one time per year, yes. He's a top 10 running back.
top
One
10.
time. One
Is
game.
it Tyler? Is it Tyler Boyd?
It is not Tyler Boyd.
Oh man. Okay. Is it Joe Burrow?
No. He is not Joe Burrow.
We did Brandon Allen last night, so,
So we are narrowed down to the Cincinnati Bengals, and they play offense.
do they play offensive line?
No, they do not.
So it's a skill position.
It's Joe's mama. I don't know who Joe's mama is. It's your turn, Wyatt. I see.
It's
you trying
my
to
turn?
Yeah, I see
Oh,
you trying
shoot.
to scroll through the
No,
chat.
no, no. I
right?
thought it was Tory's. I was trying to put up. No,
No.
is it?
I
I
asked-
swear to you, this was my next guess. I promise. I know that Drew just typed it, but is it T Higgins? I promise you that was my
It
next
is-
guess.
It is T. Higgins. It
I
is T.
swear
Higgins.
that was
It
my
is
next
T.
guess.
Higgins.
I was just waiting on Tory to go.
You can use all
I
the
was-
resources you want, Wyatt. I mean,
Well,
Right,
I know, but
yeah.
I didn't want to make it look like I looked it up or anything. I really didn't. I knew
So-
once it wasn't Tyler Boyd, if it wasn't T. Higgins, then I was gonna say, gosh. Then I
Maybe
thought
say
you'd went
some
out
odds.
offensive line.
well, so Tori's question was, does he play offensive line? And I said no. So,
Oh, I didn't hear.
I mean,
How did I miss
yeah.
that?
it
That's
pretty
what-
much
that's what
narrowed
he
it
spaced
down
out.
to a receiver, like at that point.
I was in
Point.
deep thought trying to figure out who it was.
That's fine. So all of my guests, you guys, were geared toward the AFC the AFC North, because we are going to be breaking down the AFC North draft grades tonight. So with that being said, guys, we're going to break it into two segments here. And guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Since we have, kind of tested the waters here a little bit, let's start with the Baltimore Ravens themselves. They finished 11-5 last season, getting their Lamar Jackson got his first playoff win last season, beating the Tennessee Titans at Nashville, and then ultimately losing their next game. So, Wyatt, let me kick you to you first, since you are on that side of the screen. Who was the best draft pick for the Baltimore Ravens this year in the 2021 draft?
Yeah, I think it was Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota. This is a guy that has a lot of speed, has got incredible hands. Go watch his highlight tape. I mean, this guy can pull down any ball out of the air. If you throw it up to him, this kid's got a chance of coming down with it. He's the guy that I really wanted Green Bay to pursue after, but he, of course, did go before they had a chance to But with that being said, this is a team that really needed some wide receiver help. You know, we saw all the stuff with they were going to sign Juju Smith-Schuster. He was there ready to sign, as well as T.Y. Hilton. And literally the words used by the GM and head coach was, you are going to be blockers here. That is the words that was used. And allegedly, not sure if this is true or not, but apparently Juju Smith-Schuster walked out of the room and flew immediately back to Pittsburgh and signed. And apparently T.Y. Hilton stayed for the rest of the interview process and then left and flew to Indianapolis and signed. So they literally scared their wide receivers off. So I hope that they take a lesson by this, because they've got a heck of a wide receiver in Bateman, and hopefully they don't waste it away, because Hollywood Brown has been trash. They added Sammy Watkins, but can Sammy Watkins stay healthy and stay on the field? That's the big question, because he's a heck of a wide receiver, but he just can't stay healthy. That's his main problem. So a lot of questions, with a lot of questions roaming about this pick and about the Baltimore Ravens at the wide receiver core, on offense and everything combined. I feel like they went with their best possible option here to fill the gap that everybody was really asking about, which was wide receiver.
Yeah, so one of the biggest reasons why they have such wide receiver issues is that their quarterback cannot push the ball down the field accurately, play after play after play, because he is just a above average quarterback at best. No. So, Tori, who was the best draft pick for the Baltimore Ravens this season?
I'm going to agree it was a wide receiver, but it wasn't Rashad Bateman. I think their 4th-round pick, Tylan Wallace, out of Oklahoma State.
That was a great pick, too.
Yeah.
He was predicted to be a 2nd-round pick. I was kind of hoping Green Bay would take a look at Tylan Wallace and take him, even over Rashad Bateman, mostly because I can't stand PJ Fleck and the Gophers, because, well, let's just face it, the Badgers just beat the crap out of them almost every year. So,
what do you hate about them? They're never relevant, except for like the last 2 years. They've been okay.
But they think they are. That's the worst part. And so, like, they acted.
Tori's
like they won a
Tori's like
title.
they have hope. I hate that about them. I want to crush the hope out of them. God,
right?
Jeez.
Well, they won
What
the
a
axe
beast.
2 years ago from the Badgers. It was the first time they'd won it in 20 years.
Exactly.
So they acted like they had the
every
title.
blind squirrel finds a nut, man. Come on.
And that was pretty much it. But I was hoping Green Bay would take Bateman as well in the 1st round if he was there.
God.
But Tylan Wallace, for the fall into the 4th round, the value and everything else where they got him, you can't pass that up. It's like I said, he fell through the 2nd round, he fell through the 3rd round, and down into the 4th round. So it was an excellent pickup. I honestly think he will end up being a better wide receiver than Rashad Bateman is with that team.
Wow. So one of the biggest red flags is right now is every time a player starts to fall is like what do these teams know that we don't know? So that is one of my biggest questions for him going into this season, Tori. But only time will tell. So who was their worst pick for the Baltimore Ravens this season?
So cornerback Sean Wade, but this is a multi thing. If they keep him at cornerback, this is an absolute trash pick. The kid will be out of the league within 3 years. He's not a very good. He doesn't turn his hips very well. He does not have what it takes to be an NFL corner. He does have what it takes, though, to be an NFL safety. So if they move him to safety, that could be a good pick. But as of right now, they got him listed as a corner. And I do not like that pick for him. He's not meant to be a corner in this league. So there again, we won't know until OTAs and all the rookie mini camps and all that good stuff. So what their plan is with him. But right now, if they keep him at corner, it's not a good pick. He's not an NFL corner.
On the bright side, they will be playing from behind a lot this season, so there'll be a lot of non-abilities to really play man up on the coverage. So maybe that was a good pick for them. What?
Tori, yes, you are right. He has to switch from outside corner, but it's to slot corner. This guy was a top 5 cornerback in the country just 2 years ago when he was a slot cornerback. Go watch the tape. Go watch what this guy did whenever he had Jeff Okudah around him and they weren't sticking on the outside. You are right. He is not meant to be on the outside. But if you put this guy in the slot, he will succeed in the NFL. I promise you.
No, not.
He
they
is
got to make him a
sleeper for me. And safety wouldn't be a bad move either. I do agree with you there. But
He
cannot be an outside corner. I absolutely agree. He has to be a slot corner, or he has to be a safety.
He's too stiff to play corner. You can't be stiff at all and play corner. You could be stiff and play safety because you could be a missile. But at corner, you can't do that because as soon as the guy starts to blow by you, goodbye. He's gone, and he's going to leave you in the dust.
Right. So we have found our nuts, and we're playing stiff. So hopefully we can bust those nuts. So Wyatt, who was their Ravens' worst draft pick this season?
The worst draft pick that they had was the fact that they didn't go after an offensive tackle. They just lost Brown. Now, I know they just got Villanueva, or as Buck would call him, Vanilla Wafer. I know that they just lost him, or they just picked him up, after the loss of Brown. But here's the deal. This is a guy that's super old. He is, still a talented tackle. But he is getting to the age to where retirement is coming. I mean, it is near. So for them to not go after a tackle of any kind to back this guy up in case of injury, which he's had some injuries in the past, for them to not go after a tackle really made me scratch my head on that one. I wasn't a big fan of that move to not go after any tackles at all, which other than wide receiver, I felt like was their biggest need.
They did. They took Ben Cleveland in the 3rd round.
He's a guard. He's listed as a guard.
It's 6'6", 325. They can kick him out the tackle, probably.
They could, but I mean, he's just listed as guard. I don't know if he'll transition to. I mean, the height is there, the weight is there, but can the kid play tackle? That's the big question. Because there's a big difference between guard and tackle.
If you watch his tape, he is a masher. He's a road grader for run blocking, and if they could teach him to pass block, yeah, he's going to be a great tackle. So I think they did.
So Corey, the T word you say the word was if. I mean, pass blocking is very, very hard to learn.
It is.
Like just ask Zen here. Zen is really struggling on picking up the pass blocking. From a college level, from high school to college. So I couldn't imagine from college into the NFL. So Wyatt, when you're looking at all of the Baltimore Ravens draft picks from this 2021 draft, does their draft picks make them better than their 11-5 record last season?
Yeah, I think ultimately at the end, for sure. This division as a whole, I think the lowest draft grade I gave was a B-. I mean, and we spoiler alert, I'm not going to say who it is. We have an A+ coming up because there was. I mean, here are my grades: B+, A+, B, and B-. Everybody really had a solid draft in this division. Everybody did stuff to get themselves better, and the Ravens were no stranger to that. They added to the wide receiver depth where they needed. Like I said, they could have gone with a little heavier at tackle. I know they brought in the guard, but they can play tackle, but there's a lot that still needs to be done to get to that point. So it's kind of one of those I'll believe it when I see it moments. But overall, a solid draft. They got 2 good wide receiver weapons, filled some defensive needs that were out there as well. So overall, like I said, solid draft. I give them a B.
Tori, what about you?
I was a little harsher on their draft. I really do like their draft class. They got great value. They had 7 picks, but none past the 5th round. So they got good value picks for them, and they actually did really well. I was a little rougher on them. I gave them a B- on it, and that's mostly because of the Rashad Bateman pick. I do like the pick. I just think that there was other things that they could have done at that point with as deep as this draft was. So that knocks them down a little bit in my book. So I gave them a B-.
So the question that is lurking here, Tori, does their draft make them better going into the 2021 season?
I don't think so. I think they're still about an 11-5 team. Are they going to be?
It would be
or 11
6 or it'd be 6 or 12.
Yeah. So
so
they're either going to be 11-6 or 12-5.
It's so uncomfortable. I'm going to mess that up so much.
Yeah, it'll probably take me a good 4 or 5 weeks to really comprehend.
It'll take me a good 4 or 5 seasons to get adjusted.
Yes, they're better
about
by
the time that they're going to switch it back.
12-5.
So what you're saying is the Baltimore Ravens, no matter how good or how bad their draft was, ultimately lands on the shoulders of Lamar Jackson?
No, that is not what I said.
Oh, that is what I said, and they'll probably go.
You are looking for anything to say something bad about Lamar Jackson.
I mean, facts are facts. I mean,
folks, hey, Lamar, MVP. Can you come in here?
Buck, what does MVP stand for?
Most valuable player
in the entire league, the
No.
best player in the league that year. That's what that award means.
No, that basically means the best player on the best team at that particular time.
Oh
Because
my God.
why do you want to get into this conversation?
Yes, I would love to.
The MVP is the most jaded award out there because let's just be let's be honest. We are going to talk about Tim Tebow here in just about 10-15 minutes or so. Tim Tebow was the most valuable player for the Denver Broncos the year that he led them to that postseason win. Did he win an MVP award? No, he did not. But he was definitely the most valuable player on that team and the most valuable player in the NFL. What?
All right, and we're moving on. Which
And
team is next?
So you are telling me that every year that a quarterback on the best team wins the MVP, they are deserving it better than, I don't know, Peyton Manning for the Colts, like all those years that they're like 15-1 in the regular season and he didn't win a regular and win the MVP.
First off, Peyton Manning didn't go 15-1. And Peyton Manning won plenty of MVPs. What did he win? 3?
3 of them.
2. Yeah, 3 of them.
He won 3.
But was he not the most valuable player for that team every year? Most valuable player in the AFC every year?
He was, but it's the most valuable player in the league. It's the best player in
Okay.
the league, the most electrifying and exciting and
No, it is not the most
biggest
electrifying and most exciting. It's the most valuable player.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
the
want
most.
the most, if you want the most lightning or the most lightning rod player, it'd be the MLP, right?
God.
Tell me I'm wrong.
The most valuable player goes to the best player in the league, yes. And most of the time the best player in the league is on the best team because that's why they're the best player in the league at that particular time. They led their team, aka most of the time a quarterback, led their team to that spot, got them to that point.
Let me ask you this question here, Wyatt.
Go away. Swing away.
The year that Lamar Jackson won his MVP,
Yes.
was Patrick Mahomes the most valuable player on his team?
Yes, he was.
When Patrick Mahomes
When healthy,
got
he had a
hurt,
really injury-filled year that year.
he missed 3 games for a dislocated kneecap. Well, 2 games actually. No, was it 2 or 3? But he
It was
dislocated.
no, it was more than that. It was like 5. It was like 5 weeks.
He missed five weeks, but he dislocated it on a Thursday. They played 2 games. They had a bye week, and they played the next Monday night game. So that was the 5-week span, but he only missed.
But he had the injury bug.
games.
All right, he was injured most of the year.
But so you are telling me that even though he threw for 5,000 yards in 14 games?
He did not
Or
throw for
13
5,000.
games.
He did not throw for 5,000
Okay,
yards.
he threw for 4,800 yards. My
He
bad.
did not throw for
He
4,800
threw for
yards.
4,800 yards. He rushed for almost as much as Lamar Jackson in those 14 games. But yet Lamar Jackson won
Did
the
not
MVP.
rush. What? He broke Vic's 1,000-yard rushing record that year.
Look up the stats.
What are you talking? I am looking it
Patrick
up right now,
Mahomes
and I'm
had
going to
like
call
five-
you
five-
crazy
five
when
or
I
600
find
yards.
this.
Yeah, like 500,
You
600
are
yards.
off your rocker, Buck. What
I'm
is
not on my
going on
rocker.
with you?
Tori.
2018.
You're both nuts. I just stay out of this one because
No, because you
But-
are a Packers fan saying that Jordy sucks.
He
I'm gonna
barely
put it
had
on-
4,000 yards. Barely.
barely had passing the ball. How many passing yards did Lamar Jackson have that year? 1,100.
He
1,200?
he was second place in the league that year
Okay,
for
with what?
passing yards.
Okay, how many yards did he
Jameis
have?
Winston, ironically, was
1,200.
first. Or no, never mind. That's passing
Was it?
touchdown. Sorry,
Whatever.
Sorry,
Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go back into the AFC South here, or the AFC North, I should say. We did the AFC South. Yes, you
I'm
did say,
looking for this right now.
but I don't really
find
care
these
anymore.
stats.
So with that being said, the Cincinnati Bengals are the next team on our record. They went 4-11-1 last season. Joe Burrow obviously had that torn ACL, and that's a pretty gnarly scar. If you guys have not seen it, it is definitely very, very
It's
gnarly.
there.
So
That's for sure.
So they needed offensive line help and possibly some receiver help too, since they lost AJ Green in the offseason. So, Tori, who was their best draft pick in the 2021 draft?
as much as I hate to say it, because we all thought they should have went with Sewell with their first round pick.
They should have.
They should have, but a consolation prize of Jamar Chase is not bad at all.
That's true.
So I got to go with Jamar Chase. Like you said, they lost AJ Green, so they've still got Tyler Boyd. They also did lose John Ross. I believe John Ross signed with the Bills in the offseason. So there was a need there for the number 2 receiver. And I think Jamar Chase, even though he sat out the 2020 year, is probably going to be the guy to step right in and be able to fill that role. He's got the comfortability level already with Joe Burrow, because the last time he was on a football field, Joe Burrow was the quarterback throwing him the ball. So there's going to be chemistry already there for them between those two. So I think it's just a natural fit for them, for Burrow. And there again, it might be like we talked about with Trevor Lawrence. It might be a comfortability thing too for Joe Burrow to get him settled in.
Why? Who is your best?
Yes. He is a great wide receiver talent. Absolutely. But arguably, if not arguably, probably the best wide receiver talent in this draft. And yes, he adds to chemistry to the quarterback of Joe Burrow. Of course, they played together in college. I know all of that. But at the end of the day, if your quarterback is sporting a scar that is like, have you all seen that thing? It's like 8 inches long. It covers his entire knee and like half of his shin. Like, come on. That's terrible. Protect your quarterback. Penei Sewell is the right pick right there. Jamar Chase is not the right pick. As great of a receiver as Jamar Chase is, yes, I do agree. I saw in the comments, they're going to have a top wide receiver core in the NFL. Absolutely, he's an incredible talent. 110%. I agree solely. But that is not the right pick. You've got to protect your quarterback first and foremost. That is 1A. Joe Burrow, I'm sure, was extremely happy to go link up with his wide receiver. I'm sure he was. But at the end of the day, when he's laying on his back looking up at the sky because he doesn't have any protection, he's going to be like, well, I couldn't get the ball to Jamar Chase right there. Do you know why? Because Penei Sewell could have been selected right there. That is why he's going to be laying on his back. So with that being said, the best pick that the Bengals have was Joseph Osai, defensive end out of Texas. And might I add, they got a first-round defensive end in the 3rd round. The 3rd round, this guy fell all the way down. This is a guy who had all of this draft hype coming in, was projected to be a first, at the worst, early 2nd round pick, and just tanked. I mean, I don't know what happened on draft day, but the guy fell all the way to day 2 at the very end of day 2 in round 3. And God, did they get themselves a steal right there. Joseph Osai adds that defensive end crew. This really does replace Dunlap ever since they lost him. This is a really nice pickup for them. I was very excited for them that they had brought him in after Joe Burrow got the happy but eventually sad news that they drafted a wide receiver and not some protection for him. So, once again, great wide receiver, but wrong pick. Wrong pick. You got to protect your QB.
So let me tell you what the Bengals told us by drafting a receiver when they should have drafted an offensive line here. And I see a chat here. Blake Johnson says that Joe Burrow had the 14th most time in the NFL to throw the ball last season.
That man was getting clipped left and right. He was getting destroyed. I mean, destroyed out there. He literally got hurt on a play where he got sacked. It was not a non-contact play. It was not a play where he took off and ran with it. It was a play where there was, 3 or 4 defensive linemen that sacked him near his own goal line because they busted through his offensive line and threw him to the ground. I thought they killed the guy. I really did. I was like, wow, okay, Joe Burrow's just dead now. I get it. There might be some crazy stat out there, sure, that he had the 14th most time to throw. That's great. But at the end of the day, it shows me when he's laying on the ground staring at the sky with a torn ACL and a blown out knee, that tells me right there that I don't care how much time he has to throw. It's clearly not enough, and he needs some more offensive line protection.
So before Wyatt went off that little rant when I was trying to get my 2 cents here, Wyatt, you're getting really good at that, and I like it. We're going to keep encouraging you to definitely do that. But this is what the Cincinnati Bengals said by drafting a receiver, guys, first overall. They are telling you that Joe Burrow will not play in a 2021 season. Why do you want to draft a protection when you can get the best available player off of the board when your franchise quarterback will not be here next season? They can build the line next year. Draft the best available player as you can in that position, and build for the future. So I would not be surprised if the Bengals go 2-16 next year. What I guess it would be 2-16. It'd be 2-15, right? So
2-15.
Yeah, I'm still with the evens odds. We'll get used to that. So Wyatt, who is the Bengals' worst draft pick this season.
Yeah, Bengals' worst draft pick, and I want to go ahead and put this out here. All respect to kickers when I say this, okay? I am not trying to down kickers when I say this, but Evan McPherson, kicker out of Florida, they got him in round 5, and good kicker, great kicker in college, and he's going to make a difference. Not going to lie, though, Fat Randy was pretty good for him last year. I don't know if did he not re-sign with him, I guess, or are they going to have 2 kickers on roster? I'm not sure, but Evan McPherson, I think, is a guy that you either could have gotten in the 7th round or maybe even at the end of the draft. So, God, that's what, like,
7th round is the end of the draft.
No, I mean like after the end of the draft, like whenever like as an undrafted free agent, they could have got him as an undrafted free agent or even in the 7th round. So once again, but then again, at the same time, if you've got your guy, you've got your guy. So I do understand them going with a kicker if they needed that. As we see, Tim Tebow chimes in here. Where'd that come from? God. Like, we got Chris Sims last night. Tebow's on here. We got Matt Nagy coming on sometimes. What's going on? But Evan McPherson, he's a good kicker, and I think he'll be a good kicker in the league. But I just think it was too early, and therefore I think that was their worst pick. I would have went with Jamar Chase here, but once again, I cannot deny, and I'll jump back to the same point, I cannot deny the talent that kid has. He is going to be a great wide receiver in the league, and they are going to have a dangerous wide receiver group. Joe Burrow is going to have a lot of weapons throwing that he's going to be throwing to.
Yeah, just not this season. Tori, who is their worst draft pick?
Well, I was going to say Evan just because it was a kicker, but I'm actually going to go with I'm going to go with Wyatt. Wyatt was their worst pick.
Oh, God.
So their 7th round pick's name was Wyatt Hubert. And mostly I'm saying that just because he went to Kansas State, because Kansas State sucks.
They were still mid-pack in Big 12, and Big 12 is the best football conference out there.
Nah, I don't know about that.
That is false.
They're definitely
That is
third.
fake news. That is fake news. Everybody, the rest of us here,
They're not even second. Buck. They might
share
be
that
fourth.
opinion.
Well, let's just go ahead and fix that problem.
Well, the only thing I really got the knock and their game was really hard to find a really bad pick for the Bengals here. And the only thing that I got against Wyatt Hubert is that he's just inconsistent. The guy has a motor like no other, but he's just super inconsistent. But again, it's a 7th round pick. I'm nitpicking at this point. You know, if he's inconsistent in the 7th round pick, how much are you really expecting of him? They're probably expecting him to be a special teams demon, and that's about it.
Yeah. On the flip side, though, every time like a Kansas State player goes in that 6th, 7th pick, they seem to be on the team for a long time. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs and Byron Pringle. He was a 6th round pick, and he's probably going to be their number 2, if not number 3 receiver this year. So, I mean,
who?
Byron Pringle.
Buck, is there? I don't mean to jump off topic here. Is there a way to have 2 people call in at once?
Probably not. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Because we've got Joey Glotzback and Chaz Waters going at it in the comment section here. We got to have them call into the show and have them debate something. I mean that would be entertaining.
Yeah, you guys keep the chat.
This ain't epic rap battles there, Wyatt.
This ain't epic rap. Rap.
So we gave them our best picks and our worst picks. So Tori, do these picks for the Cincinnati Bengals make them better going into 2021?
It's hard to get much worse, so I'm going to go yes. They do make them better. They make them a lot better. I like what they're doing. I like what they're putting together. You know, they're building from the inside out. They've got their skill position players all set. They've rebuilt that offensive line. The big question is going to be what can the defense do now?
So, Wyatt, does their draft picks make them better this year?
Yes. Yeah, I think like I said earlier, I think everybody in the league, or not in the league, excuse me, in the division, in the division got better because of their draft, and I think this is one of those teams for sure.
Yeah, I mean, being 4-11-1, you can't get much worse, right? But I don't think this draft makes them immediate better this year. I think in 2022, when Joe Burrow comes back fully healthy with a full season under his belt, then they'll be better. So this year's draft will make them better.
Ooh, Blake Johnson says Bengals playoff season inbound when Joe Burrow plays week 1. I think he's calling you out, Buck, saying that you're wrong. He is going to be there week 1.
Joe Burrow will not play week 1. I promise you that. suffering that
Ooh.
ACL injury. What that was
Blake,
like
you got to stay later and call in, man.
That was week 11, right? He suffered that ACL injury.
Something like that. It was
Yeah.
kind of later in the season.
So I mean, I guess it would be about 10 months, I guess. But I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, man.
these days
ACLs
now,
are
you only 8
much.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
And it's
8
crazy
months
the progression
max.
it's crazy the progression that's happened even in the last couple of years. My freshman year, we had a couple of seniors playing on in the football team that tore ACLs, and they were out for a season and a half. Like if you tore it your junior year, you pretty much weren't going to play your senior year. So, but now, heck, there's a kid I'm friends with that goes to Silver Creek right now, Kyle, and he just tore his ACL and stuff in his knee. He tore all the ligaments in his knee, and he's supposed to be back for basketball season. Like, and he tore it like mid basketball season last year. He's not even going to miss a full year. So like whenever you factor in as well, it's Joe Burrow, and he's probably got better doctors than we do at Southern Indiana high schools. Whenever you factor all that in. Except for the Chargers doctor, that's the only one that he'll stab you in the back. No, not funny.
Why? Do you not know how to wink?
yeah,
Yeah, I do.
that was pretty. Good.
It looked like you're like.
All right. So what is the Bengals' overall draft grade?
Yeah, and once again, Jamar Chase is a great wide receiver. He's going to be awesome, but I just think that wasn't the pick. So if you go wrong with a top 5 pick, I really degrade you for that. But once again, B- is the worst grade that I'm going to give in this class for this division. So I will give my B- here. Because still, nonetheless, you got a bunch of playmakers. I just think it wasn't the right playmakers at certain spots, but still, like I said, you got a bunch of playmakers. You got Osai going to them in the 3rd round, and Jamar Chase is going to be a great wide receiver. I can promise you that. Honestly, I give him a solid B-. As for talent grade, though, I give him a A-.
All right, Tori, what about you?
I gave him B+. Overall for the draft, there again, it's a team that's basically rebuilding from scratch. They started all over. They've got the franchise quarterback. They've got their skill set pieces now with Jamar Chase. They've rebuilt the offensive line between the draft and free agency. The big unknown for them is going to be how their defense plays. So I gave him a B+ because I really like a lot of their draft picks. They had a good mix in this draft of offensive and defensive players. So and they got good quality players that are going to be able to help them. Some day one, some maybe next year or so. But overall, they got players that are going to help.
Alrighty, guys. So before we go to break here, let's go ahead and address some of the comments that have been flowing through here on the youtube.com.
Comment section is alive tonight. I want to thank Chaz and Blake and Joey for keeping it alive down there, man, and Drew and Jameson, everybody.
Yeah, so Jameson.
Oh, Jameson's on the YouTube side tonight.
Yeah, the Action Jackson over there. He says John Ross is one of 6 receivers on the Giants now. So John Ross was his receiver for the Bengals. He has now signed with the Giants as well. So maybe gets cut.
Mr. Speed.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't very good, was he? Like, I don't really remember.
No, he had a lot of injuries. Like he had a bunch of big plays that he did, like that preseason play. Man, did you guys see that where he went flying down the right side? The thing is, he's got a ton of speed, but the injuries kill him, man. It's really the same issue we see with a lot of short and small and fast receivers in the league. Tyreek Hill's really been the only one that's lasted. The only speedster that has not been injury suffered completely. So
he will last.
There's
been
a
stops
few
doing backflips and to the end zone. If he keeps doing that, I see an Achilles bursting on him pretty soon here. So Blake Johnson says that the O-line has drastically improved. They got rid of the bad links on the line. Not a great O-line, but definitely not as bad as last year.
No, it's definitely not as bad as last year. And they have made some improvements, but man, like I said, Blake, go look at that. You've probably already seen the picture of his knee. That scares me, man. And I am a Joe Burrow fan. I am pulling for that guy. I want him to do good in the league. But you add another scar to the left side, add a 3rd scar on the right side of the right knee, and then I mean you start adding scars, and we'll be talking about a guy who could have.
When we come back from break, I'll drop Trow and show you the scar on my knee for my knee surgery. I was back to busting heads within 8 months after my ACL replacement.
Here we go. Lack
Why?
of effort and injuries.
You have to read the comment. We just
Sorry.
Jeez,
Ross
man.
had one. God. Ross had one preseason play, but lack of effort and injuries. Yeah. Scary knee. There you go.
Alrighty. So, are you done trying to take over the show here, Wyatt? Can I go ahead and go back?
Yeah.
to,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, like, are you sure that we're good?
Yes.
Now that I gotta scroll back and find that rope here. Here we go. Drew says, I believe Burrow had more picking with Chase than people think. So imagine that, a quarterback having a say in the draft. Why? And I think you have pretty strong feelings about that, right?
I don't know about that. In case if you see the G or Aaron Rodgers right there, or the Packers helmet, or the Chiefs head, in case if you saw any of that, no, I don't know what that's like for a GM and upper class of front office listen to your quarterback. I have no clue what that's like. No.
Tori, do you think Joe Burrow said go get Jamar Chase?
I do not. I believe he left that to the organization with Wyatt, you need to go get some pepper. We're on break to go with all that salt you're dishing out here.
Wow, that's
throwing it, baby, everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm still scrolling through the jokes here, or the comments here.
The jokes?
The jokes.
Am I a joke to you?
There are some jokes.
Am I a joke?
So, guys, we are going to take our next break. On the other side of the break, we got the fan favorite. Ain't nobody got time for that. We're going to throw in let me pull it up here. We're going to throw in a little bit of Tim Tebow. We got some LeBron James. And what if the NFL draft did not exist? What would Wyatt do at the last weekend of like April?
Nothing.
He
Literally
would not do
nothing.
All right, guys. So we're going to be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned. Sit back, relax, and join. We'll be right back.
got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeye along with Tori Anderson and the Wyatt Williams. If you miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and of course, iHeartRadio as well. Or you can simply go to youtube.com/Man Hour as we do upload the clips each and every day over there at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. every day of the week. So let's go ahead and welcome everybody back onto the screen here. You can all find us on Twitter as well, Man_Buck. Man Hour _TWW, and of course, Man Hour _Tori. Me and Tori are pretty much the only ones active on Twitter, and Tori's the most active, and my Twitter game is weak, so that tells you how great Wyatt's Twitter game is, right?
His Twitter game?
Much like his other games.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys,
Did Nikki tell you about that?
What?
Did Nikki tell you about that? She wasn't supposed to say anything.
No, you actually sent us a picture. So, like, when you sent us, like, your toga robe thing.
Oh, yeah.
You had a little bit of spectrum.
Yeah,
out
just hanging out. Yeah, my bad.
Did George Costanza and be like, it was shrinkage? It was shrinkage.
Yeah.
It was 85 degrees in the sauna. He was not shrinkage. But if you guys are new here, Ain't Nobody Got Time for That is basically a segment that the fans have come up with. Basically, this segment is, we basically have these news articles and we debate them, and basically we don't have time to even think about this because ain't nobody got time for that. So are you guys ready to kick out the fan favorite segment, Ain't Nobody Got Time?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So the first Ain't Nobody Got Time for That, I had to look over here and read it. Tim Tebow is officially back in the NFL. He is expected to sign his contract in the next coming weeks. But of course, the mothership, the leader of the worldwide sports, ESPN, let's go ahead and name drop, they have turned this into a racial issue. They said, since Tim Tebow is back in the NFL, why isn't Colin Kaepernick back in the NFL? So, Tori, I'm going to kick it to you first. Since Tim Tebow, 34 years old, has signed a contract to be a backup tight end at Jacksonville, as White would say, a motivational speaker, should we let Colin
what else
Kaepernick,
is he?
Should we let Colin Kaepernick back in the league too?
Well, the thing is Kaepernick's always been able to go back into the league. The difference is that Tebow is switching positions to tight end. That's the big difference that I have now. I do have an issue with that, with them trying to blow this up to a bigger issue than what it is. I absolutely hate Colin Kaepernick for what he did to the Packers in the playoffs of 1 year. But the
2
thing
years.
is he wasn't. Yeah, that's true. 2 years. But the thing is Colin Kaepernick wasn't a terrible quarterback. Colin Kaepernick was just not a starting quarterback. I do believe he is blackballed. I do believe it is collusion by the league. However, it's like I said, though, Tim Tebow isn't coming back into the league as a quarterback. He's coming back as a tight end to go into a different position. The only thing where I see they have a legitimate gripe is the guy's 33 years old and he was garbage when he was a quarterback. He'll be garbage as a tight end. All
right, Wyatt, what are your thoughts on that?
I do agree with Tori. I think there's a little bit of tampering with some stuff with Colin Kaepernick. I think that over time there has been a little bit, but at the same time, I also think that the NFL has provided many opportunities for him to get back in the league that he has not taken. For example, whenever they had a combine, when have they ever had a combine? Okay, you guys have been watching the NFL for longer than I have, right? I like to consider myself a smart football guy. I have watched a lot of tape of former players and stuff to kind of catch up, of course, because, I was not alive. So, has there ever been a quarterback that just got a random combine pro day situation to get himself back into the league? Has that ever happened before other than Tim Tebow?
Nothing comes to mind off of my head.
See, actually, they did. No, they did one for Kaepernick.
Well, yeah, that
they have.
I'm saying other than Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah, I thought you said other than Tebow. So
no, they haven't had
like,
they haven't had one for Tebow. No, they never had one for anybody else other than Colin Kaepernick. And what did he do with that situation? They gave him an NFL staff to work with, and in Atlanta, they gave him NFL balls. They gave him NFL receivers.
Black
they
coaching
gave him
staff, by the way. Just want to
what?
put that out there. A black coaching staff.
Well, still, they gave him a staff and everything he needed to have a pro day, which they have never given anyone ever before. And what does he do? What did he do? He says, well, just to prove a point to the NFL, I'm going to go to a high school locally where not 22 teams are that are waiting on me. Only 8 teams are there. When Colin Kaepernick did that, I understood at that exact moment, and I realized something, that this has nothing to do with football. He does not want to come back into the NFL. He is trying to start any kind of drama, any type of crap that he can, and he was succeeding with it. And that's exactly what he did. And Stephen A. Smith said it himself. The second that he went to that Georgia high school, he knew this had nothing to do with football. That was the stupidest move in the world. By Colin Kaepernick can never complain again about how he didn't get his shot in the NFL. He can never complain again about that, because if he does, it is a lie. He got every chance in the world and didn't take it. He literally got the only pro day that the NFL has ever given a player. It's never happened before. They gave that to him. They got the teams there. They said to him, hey, Colin, all you have to do is show up. That's it. You don't have to plan anything. You don't have to invite teams. We'll do all that for you. You ain't even got to bring a football. Bring yourself. That's it. That's all you've got to do. And he couldn't even do that. The moment he did that, I knew this was not about football anymore. And Stephen A. Smith said it himself as well. He can never complain again about him not getting a chance in the NFL, because when he did that, to prove some point, whatever point it was, he ruined his NFL career forever, and he will never get another shot again. It'll never happen again.
And just to add to your point there, Wyatt, was it the year prior as well? The Miami Dolphins called him down to basically come be their quarterback.
Seattle did as well.
And what shirt did he wear to Miami during that that tryout? He wore a Castro shirt. So a Castro was killing Cubans, and Miami is full of Cubans, right? So Wyatt, you are absolutely right. But let's just be honest, guys.
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
We definitely don't have time for that. So let's go ahead and move on here to the next. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let's flash back to 2020, guys. Yes.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we have to.
We're forgetting that year, Buck. It never happened.
It did happen, and this is what LeBron James said, and I quote, the playoff play-in game is great for basketball. We need more of it. Now, guys, let's flash back let's flash back into present day, into 2021. LeBron James said, and I quote, whoever came up with this playoff play-in game is an idiot, and it needs to be scripted from the record. This is the most asinine thing I have ever seen. Wyatt, what in the world is LeBron James doing here?
I don't know. All I know is, you heard it here first, Lakers are going from play-in game, 7th seed, to NBA champions.
That wasn't the question. Answer the question, Wyatt.
I know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why he said that. I honestly, I think he's just mad because he has to play in the playing game now. He's never had that situation where he was at the bottom of his division. And honestly, it's not their fault. They've been dealing with injuries all year round, but the play-in game doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. They're going to win. And even if they do lose, at this moment, they're scripted to play Golden State, which will be a tough outing. Even if they do lose to Golden State, they will win their second game, because I think it's as of right now, it's Memphis and I think it's the Spurs.
Yep.
And Memphis and the Spurs. They'll beat either one of those teams easily. So that would be even better. Then they can come in as an 8 seed, and they can beat the Utah Jazz, knock them right out, and then it's easy traveling from then on. I mean, then you play what the 1 seed would have played. So you get your tough matchup out of the way now, and then you go on and play the easiest games for the rest until you get to the conference finals, of course. Then you go on and play the 4 or 5 seed, and then on from there. But I'm telling you guys right now, he's just annoyed because he has to play in it now, which is ridiculous. He shouldn't have said that for sure. I absolutely agree. But he is waffle. There you go. I appreciate it. He is. They are going to find their way back in the tournament. This play-in thing won't matter to the Lakers.
Waffle merch coming soon. Tori, what are your thoughts on it?
100% agree with Wyatt. He's butthurt that he has to play in the play-in game now.
Exactly.
It's a position he thought he would never have to be in. It's great. These guys get to beat each other up, and we get them. We get them a little bit, weary. Played a couple more games, better chance for an injury, something like that. And now he's got to play. And he's like, God damn it! So, and no, he's basically backpedaling. Is all he's doing on his own.
He's waffling.
Word. He literally. Yeah. I'm gonna call LeBron James LaWyatt from now on. So everything should has to take LaWyatt.
So basically, what you guys are saying is,
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, hold on. I had to bring this comment up. Okay, Jameson, you comment whatever you want to bet on in the chat. I will bet you on that they will not lose in the play-in or first round.
Jameson, bet him his hair.
Don't bet me my hair. I will not bet on my hair. Anything but hair. Hair is off limits. God, it's like Combs is here. Anything. But I did not say shaved head. No. They do not lose.
You just said anything. You said anything at the start.
Except
you said,
for my hair.
No.
Sorry.
You threw
let
the
me hold on. Let me backpedal. Let me waffle around. Let me backpedal. I'll backpedal here. Here we go. Anything except for my hair. I thought we've already covered this by now on this show. Wyatt's not shaving his head, okay? Combs gave up. I will never shave my head. It is never going to happen. My mother and Nikki would kill me. Kill me.
All
right. It wouldn't be good.
You know what? You know what grows back? Your hair. What doesn't? Your manhood.
All right, so moving on to the next. Ain't nobody got time for that. Since we are breaking down the NFL draft grades and I was searching for some content, and I ran across this article, guys. It was on ESPN. I forget who the author was, but he basically said, what happens if the NFL draft did not exist? So basically, once you are eligible for the NFL, these NFL teams come at you like you are a free agent. So they start throwing 5 years, $100 million like at you. So basically, the rich teams get richer and more dominant players, and the bad teams stay bad. So Tori, I'm going to kick it to you first. Since I didn't prep you guys for this at all. This is all raw reaction. What happened? What do you think would happen if there would never be an NFL draft?
It would look like Major League Baseball. It would be the teams like the LA Dodgers, the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox that have money to burn, that have owners with deep pockets because they can live off their name and they will make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars every single year, no matter what, whether their team is good or terrible. And that's essentially what football would turn into. You would have the teams that have the deep pockets, that know how to generate revenue and are a consistent revenue generator every single year, that would be able to sign these people, and they would come up with all the best talent. So basically, you would have one team probably signing half the Crimson Tide, another team signing the Clemson
That would be the Raiders.
The Raiders, I don't even know how rich they are, like what they rank for money wise for revenue in the NFL. You would have your Dallas Cowboys, you'd have your Pittsburgh Steelers, you'd have the Green Bay Packers, and probably
I don't
the
think
Raiders.
You would have the Green Bay Packers.
The Packers are the number 3 revenue generating thing through the merchandise sales.
No, that's a false statement. So I actually read an article today where the Cowboys are the wealthiest NFL team, and then it's the Patriots, and then the Giants are next.
Yeah.
I
think the Niners are even before the Packers too.
Yeah.
No, not for merchandise, I don't think.
Well, still, merchandise doesn't matter. Yeah. At the end of the day, the draft is set input for one reason, and that is so small market teams like Green Bay can get players. Because if that was the case, then Green Bay wouldn't have any merchandise to sell because they would be a terrible team. Because let's be real here. Nobody loves Green Bay until you go there and you see it. I mean, whenever you see it from the outside, it looks like it's a little town with a giant stadium and a football team in it. It's funny because the whole town honestly operates like it's a high school football game. Like everybody in the town goes to the Packers games. Like,
Why? I grew up there. I know how it goes.
well, I know, Tori. All right, I'm not explaining it to you. Jeez, like, and you park in everybody's backyard. It's this really cool thing. You know, the traditions are awesome, but you would never find out about those traditions if you never got drafted there. Let's be real. I'll be 100% real with you right now. Do you really think Aaron Rodgers would have came to the Green Bay Packers if it wasn't a draft? No, he'd have went to the 49ers. He just said, oh, I'm staying where I've always wanted to go. I'm going to go here and negotiate this trade, and I'm going to go to the Niners and prove myself and be this great quarterback for the Niners. Or you went to Dallas.
So you guys are correct. So, and this is the 2019 stats. The Cowboys generated $980 million.
Cowboys are the richest pro sports team in the world.
Which I actually thought the Raiders would be up there, and they're not. Because
they spent all their money on that stadium.
Yeah, that's true. They burned all their money.
Did you see their stupid, insane suites? The end zone suites they have. They've got DJs and nightclubs.
It's a nightclub. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm like, are you
go big or go home?
flipping kidding me? So the Packers
What's
are one.
more Raiders fashion than that, though?
So yeah, the Packers are actually 10th in generating dollars. But okay, now like this, so according to this, the Houston Texans generated the 4th most revenue. Who the hell wants to go play in Houston right now? Nobody.
It's because Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. That's why everybody wants to buy those jerseys.
But it's because Bill O'Brien. You know, I haven't got to use the Bill O'Brien Magic 8 Ball in a while. I'm gonna have to bring that back too.
So basically, what you guys are saying is, if the NFL did not have the draft, baseball would probably be the most popular sport, right?
It would.
Basketball would.
Basketball.
No.
So
Basketball
not
probably would.
Football. So basically, what we're saying to this guy.
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Tori Anderson and the Wyatt Williams. Thank you guys for being active in the chat tonight and also liking and subscribing to our YouTube page, youtube.com/Man Hour. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can also find us in podcast form at manhourradio.com by simply clicking on the podcast. And as soon as the live is over, bada bing, bada boom, it is up there almost instantly, give or take about a half hour. Depends on the processing time and whatnot. But if you just want to catch a little bit of clip, Tori, because you are a man of old age and you like to just, catch stuff as you can while you're not pooping, you can go to youtube.com and check out the clips, man.
Or napping.
Yeah, or napping or, trying to, play stiff over there. But, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get back into some AFC North talk, guys. And we have broken down the Ravens and the Bengals, but it is time to break down the third place team, the Cleveland Browns from last year. They did finish 11-5 last season, making a playoff berth, and they did upset the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round. I believe it was the first win in Pittsburgh since 1992, if I'm not mistaken. And why in 1992 your mommy and daddy were in the back of a sedan trying to make you. So about 15 years later, you finally come out. So just kind of put that out there. AdamandEve.com.
I appreciate that.
You use a promo code MANHOUR to get yourself 10%. Just plug there. So, Tori, the Cleveland Browns, they've had many first round picks in the last year. They've rolled through quarterbacks like they were yesterday's news. They have finally possibly found their guy in Baker Mayfield. So this year's draft, I kind of feel like it was adding adding depth to particular pieces here. So I'm going to ask you this question first: who was the best draft pick for the Cleveland Browns this season?
I know Wyatt's going to say the exact same guy I am, because I think Wyatt and I were kind of waiting for this guy to come off the board, because there's no way he should have lasted until the 52nd pick.
Nope.
And that's Jeremiah
No
Owusu
way.
Koromoa.
Nope,
Not at all. The guy is a first round talent. The guy was a mid first round talent. Late first round at the very worst, should have been gone by then. How anybody didn't trade up to draft this kid in the first round, I will never know. NFL teams must have seen something that we didn't for him to drop this far. But hands down, best pick they had, probably the second best linebacker in this draft, behind Micah Parsons in my book. And he fell that far. That's inexcusable. But there again, we've seen a couple of players like that fell a long way too. And one thing I was going to bring up yesterday too, about like when we talked about like Jacksonville, and I did, was one of their best draft picks was a guy that didn't even get drafted, and that was Dylan Moses. That was like the 106th ranked prospect, and he didn't even go get drafted. 2 years ago, they were talking about that kid going in the top 10. Injuries happened, some stuff happened, and he had a down year in 2020, coming back of that knee injury, and so be it. But still, I digress with that. Koromoa, hands down, probably one of the less. This is a defense that added Koromoa. They added Greg Newsome in the first round.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got Tarek McKinley from the Falcons, and I do believe they traded for him from the Falcons to go with an already stout defense. This is going to be probably one of the scariest defenses in the league for about the next 4 to 5 years. So I think that this is not our daddy's Browns, where the Browns were terrible and just you could laugh at them every time they made a draft pick. They've gotten really good. They've gotten a lot of great picks. Lord knows they had enough top 10 picks. So they've come out and they've actually drafted smart. They've drafted well. About probably the worst pick that they had so far was in the last 4 or 5 years is Jabril Peppers. That just didn't pan out. They still got something for him. They traded him to the Giants.
They got Landon Collins, didn't they, for him?
No, Landon Collins went to Washington.
Oh yeah, you're right. What did they get for him?
Before I kick it to Wyatt here, Jameson says that linebacker was the biggest deal in the whole draft.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I'm definitely on board
Absolutely.
with you on Tory there. So Wyatt, are you in the same boat there?
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. Torrey touched everything I was going to say. Was what he said was exactly right. He is arguably, I think he's got a shot to be the best linebacker in this draft. I think Jermaine Davis in Washington and I think Micah Parsons in Dallas is going to have something to say about that. But, I mean, this kid is going to a team that's already on a stout defense. They've got a stout offense. This if you want to talk about teams that 100% got better in their draft, this is the team. This right here is.
All right, so who was their worst draft pick?
I have not done this the whole time we've been doing these draft grades, but I'm starting tonight with this team. There was not a single bad draft pick by the Browns. I loved their draft. I loved the Newsome pick. I loved Owusu Koromoa in the second round. I mean, they just didn't go wrong anywhere. Every pick I saw, I felt like that was their biggest need. That was the best player on the board. They went out and they got that player. So, I mean, there was no bad picks. And like I said, I hate doing that. I don't want to be that guy to just be like, oh, there was no bad picks. But there genuinely wasn't. There genuinely was not a bad pick, in my opinion, for the Browns. They had an amazing draft. This team got so much better. And I'm telling you guys, I've been saying this all offseason. They're a top 5 team in the league next year. I promise. Baker Mayfield's a top 5 quarterback next year in MVP voting for quarterbacks.
All right. So the Browns have officially come out, said that they're not interested in Aaron Rodgers as well. So you got that going for you as well over there in Packerland. So Tori, who is the Browns 2021 worst draft pick?
I gotta agree with Wyatt. There wasn't one. Their biggest need was at quarterback and at linebacker. They addressed that in the first 2 rounds. Everything back behind that was to address depth, and they addressed every need that they had. So I can't fault them for one pick. Like, I keep looking at it and I'm like, well, maybe Tony Fields. Not really. Richard LeCounte.
I can give you a sideways answer of like who was their worst pick, like their 7th rounder, because he was the least talented player they got. But at the same time, they were
even
all good picks.
They got Demetric Felton.
I mean, all good picks, man.
There was literally none. Is kind of a Swiss Army knife running back from UCLA.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there was not really a bad pick.
Good.
Go ahead. No, I'm good.
So I just wanted to address this comment here that Jameson said, let's not forget that they picked up Clowney too in the off season. So if Clowney is even a former shell of himself that he was at Houston, not in Seattle, but in Houston, he definitely adds depth to that defensive line over there in Cleveland. So the next question here, obviously, Tori, as you kind of hit on it, did they get better in this draft? And like you said, yes. So what is their grade in this year's draft?
You can't give them anything but an A+ on this draft. When you hit everything that you did not make one bad pick in your draft. You have to give them an A+. You filled your needs that you did with your first 2 picks, and from there you went straight depth. You can't not give them an A+ on this draft.
What?
I agree 100%. A+. If I could pull an A++, I would. But A+ is the highest it goes. So I give them an A+. Like Tori said, they filled all their needs. They added the depth they needed at positions they needed. I mean, if they got some steals. I mean, Greg Newsome is a guy who most people don't know, but he's a guy who, if you watch the film and you watch the tape, he's one of the top DBs in this draft, and it's going to show. I mean, they're adding that to Denzel Ward, who's already great. Like we talked about a minute ago, Jadeveon Clowney, even if he's a shell of his former self, you can stick him at defensive end, and then you put Owusu Koromoa on the outside linebacker. I mean, or even middle linebacker. You can throw these guys anywhere. They're all just great talent, and they're all going to succeed in league. So, A+ for me.
So one thing I want to address about this Newsome is I've heard these so-called experts, I'm going to use that word very, very loosely, just because we all can be classified as experts.
I am an expert.
Yeah, like we watch hundreds of hours of like film and like all that stuff, so we can be classified as experts too. So that term is used very, very loosely. So these experts, they said that they did not like Newsome because the highlights tapes that they watched, there was not enough of him. So as a cornerback, when there's not enough highlights of you, you are doing something right. They are scared to throw the ball your way. They are scared to run the ball your way because you are such a dominant figure. So, guys, I have to agree with you. Newsom is going to do. He reminds me of Darrell Revis, like back in the early days. A guy I think he could probably literally shut down half of the field, and that's going to help them in that AFC North division so much. Any thoughts on that before we move on?
No, I mean I agree.
San Dimas High School football rules. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Tori, we're all not 50.
That is the one like hit 80s movie that I've never seen. I've seen all of them, like the Goonies. We were talking about Revenge of the Nerds earlier. I've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Out is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like I've seen a ton of 80s movies because that's what I was raised on it because my mom and dad love 80s movies. But Bill and Ted's it was Excellent Adventure. Is that what it is?
There's two of them. There's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and then Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Something like that. Well, I have never seen any of the Bill and Ted's. I've seen the end of the newest one. The one where like they, go back in time and they get all of them to come and they play the big song or whatever at the end. I've seen that part of it, but I have never. That's like the one 80s movie that I've never seen.
I've never seen that movie. Never even heard of it.
It's okay. I mean, it looks okay. I'm not like I might not ever watch it in my life, and if I died tomorrow without watching it, I think I'd be perfectly fine with it.
This is my official resignation from the show because these guys have not seen Bill and Ted.
Okay, so we'll see you for the next 2 weeks. So I'm officially going to deny your resignation. So let's move on to the last team here in the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was a tale of 2 seasons for them. Let's just be flat and honest. They started out the season 11-0, finished the season 1-4 with a first-round loss to the Cleveland Browns at home. So the Pittsburgh Steelers have an aging quarterback that is coming off I believe it was Tommy John surgery is what he had right last year or two years ago, I should say, but it was some type of elbow surgery that he had. I can't remember, but they basically needed to nail this draft to be relevant. I think here in the AFC North. Wyatt, who was their best draft pick?
Look no further than Najee Harris, a guy who's going to be a big impact day one. A guy who is going to mesh with Benny Snell, I feel like, very well. You're going to see Najee Harris come in and run the ball a couple of times, and he's going to catch a couple of passes. Then Benny Snell is going to come in and cram it right down your throat and gain a bunch of yardage. This dual running attack is going to be great. It's going to be much better than what James Conner could do last year, considering that he did absolutely nothing. I am so miserably upset that I actually traded for him in fantasy, which was a horrible, horrible mistake. But I will be going after Najee Harris in fantasy because he's a pass-catching running back. He's got great route running. You can literally put him in the slot, and he will succeed as a slot wide receiver. He can run the ball. I mean, we've all seen the hurdle against Notre Dame. The guy's a freak athlete. He does things that other people can't. And in my opinion, he is the best running back out of this draft and a day one impact guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So their first rounder, Najee Harris, was the best pick for them for me.
So why you were on the show when we talked about Vanilla Wafer leaving the Steelers and going to the Baltimore Ravens and saying that he passed
Wafer,
like 80% of the time. So how can a running back be the best pick when they're going to pass the ball 80 to 90% of the time anyways?
I think they're going to kind of try and level it out this year, actually, a little more. And also, so I think first off, let me start with this. I think they're going to level out the passing attack this year and go with a little more running. But also, I think that the strong passing attack that the Pittsburgh Steelers have benefits Najee Harris because he's a pass-catching running back. I think there's a reason why they went after him and not Williams from, say, North Carolina in the second round. I think there's a reason why we saw them go after Najee Harris right there because running back was a bigger need they have, and this guy fits their system. He can go out and catch some passes for you if you need. He can go out and he can run the ball for you if you need. He can pass block. He really does everything. Like I said, he's the best running back in this draft, and I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers benefit in every way in their passing and rushing game with this addition. He might even be a returner. Who knows? We'll find out shortly. But like I said, a day one impact starter for me.
Interesting. Tori, what about you?
So I have best picks. So I'm going with Kendrick Green and Dan Moore Jr. So they're third and their fourth round pick. So Kendrick Green can step in day one, start at center, or he can play guard. You got Dan Moore, who's going to come in and play tackle. This is an aging offensive line. You started to see it. They let, as Buck says, Vanilla Wafer go this offseason. Vanilla Wafer. Alejandro Villanueva will forever be known as Vanilla Wafer.
Vanilla Wafer. I love it.
But those are probably the two best picks. They made two really good picks. Like I said, they went with the guy that can play center or guard. They got Dan Moore, who's a fourth round pick, but is a day one starter at tackle, in my opinion. So I actually really like those picks because we've talked about it before. It all starts up front. Eventually Ben's going to be gone, but why not give him just a little bit more protection right now? Try to make that one final run and that one final push to another Super Bowl, and then you're still set up for the future. They picked up Dwayne Haskins, and I think actually him being in Pittsburgh for the maturity level will actually be really good for him.
One key term that you said there is they had two really good picks. Was the rest of their picks bad then, Tori?
Well, the first round pick was bad. I am not a Najee Harris, but the thing is here's the thing. I'm going to quantify this by saying I do not think Najee Harris will be good this year. I think his second or his third year, he's going to go the King Henry route, where it's just going to be like,
I can see that.
Is this going to be a bust or not? And then, what was it? It was the King Henry's third year. He just annihilated everybody, busted onto the scene. And I think Najee Harris is almost going to take the same route.
So, bada bing, bada boom, year 3, it is going to be King Najee. So, who is the worst pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers then?
Najee Harris right now. Just because this year, I don't think he's going to be as great as everybody thinks he will be this year, because they are rebuilding that offensive line. And so that I have to have a feeling that plays a lot into it.
All right. So, let's kick it over to Wyatt. Wyatt, who is their worst draft pick in the 2021 draft?
Yeah, I think Pat Freiermuth. First off, there's no need for a tight end for this team. You've already got Vance McDonald sitting behind Eric Ebron there. You've got a decent little tight end crew, and to add Freiermuth, who's not even a pass catcher, he's a blocking tight end. I didn't really see the point in that. If you're going to add depth for tight end, you go with pass catchers, and I mean, I think Freiermuth's going to be a decent tight end. He's a guy that's going to be like a Mercedes Lewis that the Packers have, where you just kind of throw him in on run plays, and he blocks very well, but he can also catch a couple of passes. But I didn't really understand the pick. I didn't think tight end was their biggest need. At the same time, this guy literally cannot catch a ball to save his life. He is a blocking tight end. Now, you can learn to catch. You can work on it over time, but I don't know. I think after a certain point...
Think about what I just said, though, Wyatt. They're rebuilding that offensive line. So in that retrospect, I can see why they took a blocking tight end in the second round.
Yeah, but I just don't think he'll get time. Eric Ebron's a clear-cut starter there.
Right, but he's a receiving tight end. He's not much of a blocking tight end. So if you're going to try to rebuild your line to give your quarterback a little bit more time or try to open up a little bit more of a hole, you're going to want that blocking tight end in there. And because I agree with you, I'm not a fan of that pick either. But the more I talked about it, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about this, and now that pick makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, he can definitely benefit.
Playing a lot of max protect.
Yeah, I mean, he can definitely benefit, and that's why I'm not really going to give the Steelers that bad of a rating. But he could definitely benefit the offense. But I don't know. I feel like this guy is going to be a third stringer, and I feel like the pick is going to be used for absolutely nothing. But we'll see. I could be totally wrong, and Freiermuth could be a week 1 starter, and he'd come in and block for him. The problem they're going to run into, though, if they're switching Ebron and Freiermuth, is if you see, okay, Vance McDonald retired, okay. If you see Freiermuth come on the field, then you know it's a run play, or most likely a run play. Defenses will pick up on that. And if you see Ebron come out, you know it's most likely a pass play. So defenses are going to pick up on that. That's the only worry I have about them doing that is having a clear-cut receiving tight end and a clear-cut blocking tight end. Because once again, Freiermuth cannot catch a ball.
Just because he's blocking doesn't mean it's a run play. He can pass block too.
Well, I know, but you don't bring on a tight end to block on a pass play. That's very rare. I mean, you can do it, but you don't see it very much. Most of the time, your tight ends are out there on passing plays to be some kind of a check down or a post, something to get yardage.
No, they're out there usually to block if your offensive line isn't that great. They're out there. They're kind of, it's like I said, they're almost a match protect person.
So Jameson says that tight end is referred to as Baby Gronk. So we will always see, as time will tell, through the 2021 season. But Wyatt, you've been hitting at this B- all night. Is this time where you drop that B-?
I dropped the B- on the Bengals.
Okay.
This right here, though, I'm not dropping a B-. I'm dropping a B+. It was a pretty solid draft, I'd say, overall. Like I said, wasn't a big fan of Freiermuth, the tight end out of Penn State with the second-round pick, so I did give him a deduction on that. But other than that, all around, it was a good draft. I like the pick of Najee Harris, like I talked about earlier. And once again, Freiermuth will absolutely make it. I think he will make an impact for this team. Do I think it'll be a huge impact or an impact that a second-rounder should make? No, I don't think so. So, like I said, I give him a B+. It was a good draft. It was a very good draft.
So, Tori, are you going to drop the D on the Steelers?
No, they get just a B- for me. So it's like I said, I'm not a fan of the Najee Harris pick this year. I think eventually, yes, he becomes the running back that we all think he is.
Isn't that the story of all Alabama running backs, though, if you think about it?
Well, except for Eddie Lacy, who started off hot and then ate his way out of
well,
the league.
that's true. But like you think about, like Mark Ingram was slow at the beginning. He was good, but then he popped off there at the end. Derrick Henry slow, then pops off. Now, I mean, hey, I think you could be right. Absolutely, Najee Harris could be slow and then pop off in the end.
Yeah, it does. It seems that way, that a lot of times the Alabama running backs do start off slow when it comes to NFL, but they end up finding success.
What do you think causes that?
I scheme, system, their fit, picking up the playbook, you name it. I mean, it can be 25 different reasons.
I feel like it's part of like they're bred to be college running backs at Alabama, and it takes them a little bit to adjust. I feel like to the NBA. So I'll take
to
my
the
pick
NBA
here. Or the NFL. Sorry, I got the Celtics and Heat game going on in the background. But no, I think that it'll take a little bit of time for them to develop. Now that you say that, it makes a lot of sense. I really didn't think about it that way, but it would make sense that he would probably develop.
All right. So that is going to be it for our AFC North draft grades. Guys, we do have one division left. We have the AFC West coming up tomorrow. And also what's going on tomorrow, guys, the NFL is officially releasing their schedule.
We already did the AFC West.
No, or sorry, the AFC East. I'm sorry, East, that way. The East. I mean, we can do the AFC West again, like if we want. I mean, it has the best team in all of NFL in there. But so tomorrow we will be drinking. We'll be talking the AFC East tomorrow. But guys, we're going to take our next break, and you know what? Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines, guys. The phone lines are open for Shop Talk. So if you guys are interested in calling into the show, bear with us, because I am answering the phone and doing like all this stuff. So when you answer Joey, or when I answer Joey, do not hang up, because I'm not going to call you back again tonight. That's just the way it is. The phone lines are open, guys. 812-406-8384, and we'll start Shop Talk right after this little commercial break from our sponsors, Brooks Roofing. welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Tori Anderson and the Wyatt Williams. Shop Talk is officially here, so if you guys want to talk about anything, let us know in the comments, or you can also call into the show at 812-406-8384. And if you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can also find us on, you can watch the clips over at youtube.com/Man Hour. But guys, we had a caller come in right as I posted the phone lines. So we have a fan favorite here, Joey. What's going on tonight, Joey?
What's up, man?
Man, it is always great hearing your voice here. But the real question is, have you grown past 5 foot yet?
Who the hell asked that question? No.
Buck Nasty just did. No, you haven't.
Get him, Joe. Get him, Joe.
So, what is your question for the boys tonight?
All right, Tori, I'm coming at you again, man. Had to start the show. What is your problem with every single nice person in the NFL? I swear.
Have you ever met Rashad Bateman?
Your mom out of a burning house, you'd be like, oh hell no, I hate that guy every single day.
He's not wrong, Tori.
No, I explained why. There is nobody in the world that is that wholesome. Nobody. You are hiding
really
something.
Are.
You have a secret. No. So Wyatt, you've seen how I can pull what's out of Mike's head in less than 3 questions.
Yes.
I can read people.
It is incredible, Tori. But I cannot agree with you. I'm sorry. Jordy Nelson is a great person. He is just a good, wholesome dude.
No.
There is
it's
no
gonna come
other
out, it's gonna come out that he likes cocaine, hookers, and blackjack or something.
I promise you it never will.
That'll be fine with me.
Who does not like a little bit of cocaine every now and then? I'm totally kidding.
Oh my God.
All right, Joey.
Riding the white pony.
Thanks for calling in, Joey.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we do have another caller coming in. Caller, what is your name? Hello.
Hey, it's Red Devil Chaz here.
Red Devil Chaz.
Chaz Waters.
What's going on tonight there, Chaz?
Hey, I got a hot take for the upcoming NFL season that I'd like to share with WJ Chaz, Big Man Wyatt.
All right, go for it.
There's always a team that goes worst to first in the NFL.
Do not say the
Jets. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars in the weak division of the AFC South will make the playoffs next year.
What is your thought process?
I'm backing it, Chaz.
That? No, you shut your mouth, Wyatt. What is your thought process on on this, Chaz?
Trevor Lawrence is the future GOAT of all of NFL history. That's for one.
Wait,
he's going to be a rookie quarterback to take his team.
Who is the future GOAT?
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, that bust of a quarterback. Okay, I'm sorry.
Be better than Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Okay. When is your
Urban
bedtime?
Meyer, already a top 10 NFL coach. He's done in college.
What is this guy talking about?
He don't have to prove anything. He's better than all these losers who think to know about the West Coast Conference, NFC West. I got the big bad minds of all the Rams coach and everyone. It's Urban Meyer's time. He did it at Ohio State. He did it at Florida. He did it at Utah. He's about to do it in Jacksonville.
Hey, Chaz,
until he has health issues.
Exactly, Chaz. How many heart attacks or heart issues has Urban Meyer had in the last 10 years?
It was a brain issue, wasn't it?
You know what? I'm calling it. And give it about 3 years, they'll win the Super Bowl. He'll have a heart attack when they ask him where he's going.
And then a bunch of scandals will start to surface. So what after Urban Meyer left Florida, what happened? Aaron Hernandez come out to be like a rapist and like a gangbanger. They were doing cocaine off of hookers.
Hey, how is that my man Myers for?
He was their coach, and then he went to Ohio State a couple years after he left. What?
Are you assuming Urban Meyer pushed somebody to be a rapist?
I am saying that Urban Meyer does not have any control over his players, and when you don't have any control over your players in the NFL comes down and takes care of business, a.k.a. Urban Meyer will not be a coach after 2 years in the NFL.
Hey, that's why he's got Tebow there for. He's got that coach, that future NFL coach. Hey, look, here's what the Jaguars have God on their side. Okay, they got Tebow.
Yeah.
They're making the playoffs.
So, fun fact: Tebow has actually gone to atheism, so he no longer believes in Jesus.
On to atheism.
Well,
I'm telling you right now.
Tebow.
I'm telling you right now, Chaz, this is what I tell the guys, okay? I know they brought him on as a tight end, but I don't care if they brought him on as a quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, punter, kicker, long snapper, whatever it was.
Right? He is not going to be a rah-rah guy.
He is not there to play football. He is there to be a motivational speaker.
Okay. All right, Chaz. Thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, I'll see y'all. Go Red Devils. FFC.
All righty. Thanks, bud. Why do you go? So Chaz said that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to go first to worst here, or from worst to first, I should say. Jameson also said that the 49ers will go worst to first as well. The 49ers, guys.
I could see the Niners doing it.
Yeah,
sure.
The Niners, I could.
Well, because they're 2 years removed from a Super Bowl, and the only reason why they were not effective as they were last season was simply because that injury bug riddled them left and right. And they were still, 6-10 or 7-9 last year, right? I mean, they were still a pretty good team. So, guys, we got another call coming in here. So, welcome to the Man Hour there, caller. Who do you got here? Hello.
Oh, it's Joey again. We need to get Chaz on here for a co-call.
Okay.
We got beef to settle.
Well, Chaz, if you would like to call back in, we can settle some beef here on the Man Hour.
And this will be the last time we ever have a call-in segment.
So Chaz, if you are listening, I believe we have some FC Jeff rivalry.
We do. We got the FC Jeff rivalry and unfolding.
Yeah.
Excuse me, right in front of us.
Yeah. So, fun fact here. Joseph just said it is time. So Joseph, we will give Chaz like a couple minutes here before we gotta cut the call here. But the guys, the 49ers, they are like Jameson, like you are a huge 49ers fan here, guys. If you did not know, they absolutely have the best chance to go from that worst to first type of mentality.
I think they got a really good shot at it, especially because I mean, the only reason why they were rough last year was because of the injuries they had. I mean, they couldn't keep anyone healthy all last year. So they get everybody to come back. They get everybody healthy. Plus, you got a new, exciting young quarterback in. I think it makes for an exciting. It'll be really cool to see what the Niners do this year. I think it will for sure be a threat, and I think Trey Lance will be leading that threat.
So you think Trey Lance will be starting week 1 for the 49ers there, Wyatt?
Oh yeah. You pick him at number 3 overall. There was so many questions about him coming into the draft, and I think that is also part of why they're saying, okay, we picked this kid with the 5th pick or the 3rd pick. We're just throwing him in. We're gonna throw him right in. We're gonna see how he does. He's either got it or he doesn't. That's what the film tells us. We don't, he looks amazing on film, but will his game translate to the NFL because he was playing FCS football? That was what all the NFL GMs were saying. That was what they were saying. So I think that's the big question. Will it translate? I think it will. I think we've already seen it translate in several players who have his exact same playing style. I think he plays a lot like Russell Wilson. I think that he plays a lot, along the lines of certain guys like maybe even Patrick Mahomes. He's got a big arm, but also with legs. So. Like I said, I'm not comparing him to the legacy of them at all. I'm just comparing him in play style, because I hate when people compare rookies to players. That's so stupid.
Yeah. So, Joey, since we still got you on the line here, do you think that Trey Lance will start week 1 for the 49ers?
No,
Why not?
because he sucks.
Because he sucks. That is that's a Combs answer. So you've been watching the show a little bit too long to talk like Combs over here. So, Tori, do you think Trey Lance will start for the 49ers week 1?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking, Buck. I don't think so. I mean, it's the one thing that we've learned, I think, in the NFL is there's a lot of pressure for these kids to play early, and it's the sink or swim mentality. But their chances increase greatly if they can sit for a year or two and learn the system and get comfortable in the system for them to become successful in the NFL. And I think we're starting to see teams go back to those roots. It disappeared in the 90s because it used to be that way with quarterbacks, if they could, that to not have them start day one.
So Wyatt, we did have a comment come through here, and Facebook user thinks that Justin Fields will starting week 1. Do you think that?
No. I don't think Chicago's gonna quite toss him into the.
We don't really care what you think, Wyatt, because you are a Packers fan, and we all know that Jordan Love will be starting week 1 for the Green Bay Packers, right, Wyatt?
Right. No.
All right.
No. Aaron Rodgers coming back, baby. Telling you.
Yes. So seriously though, do you think Justin Fields will be starting week 1?
No, I don't think so. I think he's around.
Yeah, we still don't care, Wyatt. Man Hour Nation, rise up. And the after show, guys, has officially started. So if you are a member, go to youtube.com and you should have a notification saying that the after show has started. So let me go ahead and click on that. Then bada bing, bada boom, we are live on the after show, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Man Hour. After show is now live. If you are a member, see you tomorrow.